I'm looking forward to sharing with you today what is the third step. And I hate to say that word step because I use it a lot, but maybe it's the Trinity series. The Trinity series, and this is the third installation of the Trinity series. And the Trinity series is on rewriting your destiny. That's the big focus. And in the present moment, in order to rewrite our destiny, we have to change our limiting beliefs, because there's our limiting beliefs that influence our relationship to where our power lies. And our power lies within our relationship to ourselves. Our power lies in our relationship with ourselves, with other people, and the world at large. And we have beliefs that govern our relationship with ourselves. What do I believe about myself? What do I believe about other people? And what do I believe about the world at large? That is the first of this trilogy, which is on rewriting your destiny, how to change limiting beliefs. I did that about 2 weeks ago. And then last week, the second quote class or step is then, once you've got your beliefs in alignment, is then to go back and to change my relationship with the past by healing the pain of the past, by healing my relationship with my inner child, my adolescent, my teenager, the different parts of my past, so that I can retrieve the power that I've lost there, where I can retrieve the strength and the gifts and the passion and the creativity that often is dormant behind a wounded child or a wounded adolescent. And that is the next stage of this Trinity. And today is the culmination, the third, which is on your relationship to the future. And to not only change and open up to understand the power of the future, but to allow yourself the gift of changing the way you think about and relate to the future. And as you do, you ignite hope. Hope is accessing the motivation, the joy, and the power of the future. And so when you change your limiting beliefs, it changes the way you perceive the past and the future. And in so many ways, you are the energy between. You are the energy between the past. You are the energy between the future. And you are in the liminal. The energy between the past and the future is where the power lies. And it is governed by your relationship with both and your current beliefs. That's why I helped you to understand how important it is to update your mental software, to update your belief systems. And I gave you a very practical step-by-step how to do that. And most of you, and I've gotten cards and letters from people that have done it and are like, wow, this does work. This is powerful. This is amazing. And you can do it too. And as you change your beliefs, and as you take and retrieve the creativity, the healing, the power, the innocence from that past, you change your state of being in the present moment. And tonight we're going to embark upon the third of this Trinity, the third stage, which is now I need to turn and face my future. Because you see, there's energy coming from both the future and your relationship to it and from the past. You've had the opportunity to heal that relationship with the past. And now tonight you're going to have an opportunity to expand and to change the way you think and feel and relate to the future, because there's energy coming to you. And guess what? Just like your past, there's not just one future out there. There's multiple futures that have yet to manifest. There is your darkest nightmare out there, where all of your fears and your self-doubt and your ego's not good enough and your ego's pain and your ego's powerless has created and thrown a future out there that is your nightmare, the dark future. That exists. It's out there. And then there's also your soul's empowered destiny, your soul's future of you waking up and growing and achieving and changing and expanding and becoming all that you were meant to be, empowered in this lifetime. And that future is your bright dream, the dream of who you can become. And in between, there is a myriad of other futures, and all of them are sending you energy right here into the present moment. And tonight you're going to learn. And beyond learning, you're going to discover how to take the power back and to take the energy trapped in those quote nightmare futures and take that electrical magnetic life force of yours out of the thing you fear the most in the future and then give it collapsing that so it no longer influences you and then giving that energy to the dream to bolster the dream, to draw that dream closer, to start to precipitate and manifest the future you do desire. And out of that relationship, knowing in the present moment that you hold the power, you are a powerful spiritual being. You have always been, and you did abandon your power. You did give it up. You did give it away. And your journey of growth is now to consciously choose to retrieve it, to integrate it. That's why you're on here listening at this moment, is you want to grow and become more and fulfill your empowered destiny. You're discovering just how powerful you are. And tonight, you're going to not only be aware and understand that power, you're going to know how to connect with it and to bring it into the present moment, to ignite a hope, to expand motivation, to unleash the joy and the passion of your being. That's the relationship with the future. So before we dive into the topic, let's see who's on here and say hello. I'm also simultaneously streaming onto YouTube. Although if you're on YouTube, I won't be reading your comments because I can't be at 3 places at once. However, I am recording live on Insight Timer. There's quite a few people already that have signed on to Insight Timer. It looks like there's 29 people, and that'll continue to grow as the class unfolds. But hello, Angie. Hello, Alma's, Jeremy, all of you, Louise, Loretta. Well, Loretta says, how can someone feel powerful but at the same time feel weak and helpless? That's because, hear this, Loretta, there is a part of you that is still feeling the powerlessness and the weakness of the past, called your inner child, that needs to be healed, needs to be understood, needs to be resurrected. And as you can take away the pain of the past and heal it by connecting with that inner child, you become more powerful in the present moment. And that has created a future out there that is also sending energy. So your power, and most people don't understand what power is, but I want you to think about this. Power is free will choice, your freedom to choose. And in so many ways in the past, we adopted beliefs, ideas, conditioning, what it means to be a man, what it means to be a woman, what do I do with my emotions? I should, if I'm going to be, a cooperative child, I got to repress and squash. Trying to survive. But and that created a reality for you. But power is choice, free will choice. And that's one of the reasons why in our world, the collective out there, people think of people with money as being powerful. Ooh, look at that person. They've got a lot of money. They've got chauffeurs and they've got a big house on the hill and they've got people and servants taking care of their every need. Look how powerful they are. That's not power. But what money provides people with is where the idea that money is powerful comes from, because money expands people's choice. If I were to give you $5 and say, go downtown where you live and eat dinner tonight, you'd be at one of 3 or 4 restaurants, right? But if I gave you $500 and say, go downtown, what changed? All the possibilities, all the choices expanded. That's power. But see, money expands choice, and that's why people think money is powerful. But you always have choice. Who am I going to be today? Am I going to be a victim? Am I going to be a person who's poor me, nothing ever works out? And letting the beliefs of a child and an adolescent and a teenager that was adopted and given beliefs from but well-meaning parents and authority figures and television, that's who formulated your beliefs. And obviously, it does make you feel powerless because they're not your beliefs and they're not your choice. They're somebody else's choice. And when somebody chooses for you, you feel disempowered. You feel powerless. But when you can take your power back by updating those beliefs, changing them to what you do want, from love hurts to love heals, to love leaves to love lasts. When you change the programming, your beliefs create your experiences in life, and your reality is an expression and reflection of your consciousness, specifically your beliefs. Because out of beliefs comes your attitudes, and out of attitudes comes thoughts and feelings. And from those thoughts, feelings, attitudes, and beliefs, you have choices available. And from those choices, you decide. Well, when you change your beliefs and attitudes, guess what? Your thoughts and feelings open up to new choices, new possibilities, and new futures. And you decide. So you can understand this trilogy of beginning with rewriting your destiny by changing your relationship to your beliefs, changing and updating your mental software, not letting these old beliefs that life's a bitch and then you die, or it's difficult for me to change, or I'm a horrible sleeper at night. Those are beliefs. Well, Mikhail, you don't understand. It's exactly true. I am a horrible sleeper. Yeah, because beliefs create reality. But when you change your beliefs, your reality will change. That's how you know you've changed your beliefs, is whenever you change the belief successfully, your reality will show you that. Love won't hurt anymore. It'll heal. Love won't leave you anymore. It'll last. When you change the beliefs, your reality is going to show you that. That's how powerful you've always been. You create your own reality by causing it, by allowing it, and by attracting it. Nobody sets out to create a car accident. Nobody sets out to create ill health, but it still happens. Yeah. Well, they didn't choose to have cancer, no, but they did choose to create an environment by repressing my emotions, by believing I'm powerless and that life would have no hope for the future and become depressed. And they create an environment and they give up their passion for life. And guess what? Viruses are consciousness. Viruses, bacteria, they have a strong passion for living. They want to multiply and co-create and propagate and expand. They have a passion for life. And when you give up your passion, when you abandon and you repress your emotions, you lower your life force energy. You become susceptible to dis-ease in the world. But you created that. Not consciously wanting the virus, but creating an environment where it could live, thrive. And likewise, the good news is you can change the environment. You can heal the pain of the past. You can change your beliefs and you can open up to new futures and you can change your state of being, opening up to greater hope. Because your relationship with the future is where all motivation comes from. Your relationship to the future is where hope is born. A person who's hopeless doesn't have a clear idea or a relationship to their future. And if they do have one, it's a dark and dim one. Yeah, my mother died of this, and I'm got genetic and this, and that, and my future's dim, and I don't feel any hope and no joy, and certainly no freedom. I'm at sufferance. I'm a victim of my mother's DNA. No, you're not, unless you choose to be. You are so powerful. And so much of why I teach solutions for moving beyond struggle is to help people to remember the truth of who they are and to take their power back that they gave away. You might be demonstrating a reality where there's a lot of pain and powerlessness, but know that it's not by chance. You create it by causing it, by allowing it, or by attracting it. For instance, when I repress my anger, because I've been told little girls don't get angry, or I've been told anger is unspiritual, and I believe it. And then I start feeling anger and I say, oh no, I want to be spiritual. So I repress all this anger and shove it down. It has to go somewhere. It's energy. And it putrefies into resentment and bitterness. And that lowers your life force energy to try to contain it. And it exhausts you on some level because your subconscious mind is always trying to hold it in and keep it from coming out because I'm not supposed to be this way. And then that is vibrating inside of you. And guess what your soul says? You've got to deal with this anger. And if they're not going to deal with it emotionally, if they're not going to feel their emotions because they've judged it as bad and wrong, then law of attraction, that anger is going to attract events to get them to feel angry. Because the law of attraction, I've got repressed anger. Well, why is all this angry people coming at me? All these things happening that's making me angry. Maybe because I have anger to resolve. And once I can get the message and clear it out, I no longer will attract those experiences. So you create it by causing, allowing, and attracting. And that's the fundamentals of metaphysics. And I taught a lot of that on other classes, so I don't have time to belabor the point here. But more importantly, today we're going to turn, as you have healed and shifted your beliefs from 2 weeks ago, as you have updated those to what you do want versus what you don't want, to change your beliefs about the way the world operates, to change your beliefs about you and your relationships or your health or your relationship with money or finances, whatever it is, whatever area you worked on, you're starting to discover just how powerful you've always been. And you've allowed yourself then to go back and to connect with and understand your relationship to the past, to take your power back and to heal that inner child, that adolescent, that teenager, whatever versions of you that were in pain, to get them on your side, and you become more. Not only from the beliefs you've shifted in your consciousness, but from the energy now flowing in that relationship from the past. And now tonight is time to work on a very mysterious area. For most people are much more comfortable digging up and looking for answers of why things are going the way they are in my life from my past. But that's not the cause of why things are going the way that they are. It is your relationship to the future that's creating the opportunities. Because your relationship to the future is one of evolution. To become whole, to become empowered, to become in alignment with your empowered destiny, which is your soul's destiny. And that is sending you energy, giving you the opportunities to align with it. And likewise, your ego's destination, your ego's destiny, one of frustration and anger and hurt and disappointment and dis-ease of whatever sort, is also out there in the future. Oh, Mikhail, you mean I gotta choose? Yeah. It's not enough to know you're powerful. You need to demonstrate it. And the way to demonstrate it is by taking your power back. By saying, yeah, in this lifetime, I've had a lot of fearful thoughts, and I've had a lot of beliefs that I'm going to end up like my mother, my father, my sisters, my brothers. I have all this stuff, and I've thrown a future out there as my nightmare. And it's throwing energy. It is drawing and creating energy and opportunity for me to struggle and suffer now, until I dismantle it, until I take my power back, until I make a conscious choice to take my energy out of that dark future and give it to the powerful and soul's future. Well, isn't that going to taint and hurt the positive future by taking the energy out of the negative one? No, it's energy, it's electricity. It's not the form, it's the function and the energy that is your life force connected, keeping those fears alive, keeping that pain alive. I can take my life force, making the conscious choice along with my higher self, my soul and spirit, that I refuse to create that reality. I refuse. I'm not going to sit and wait and see. Well, let's see what happens. I hope for the best. Cross my fingers, get my lucky rabbit's foot. No, let me choose and own it, that I'm that powerful. And then take the energy and collapse that future so it no longer influences you in the present moment. And then you take the energy and you start dreaming and giving it to what you do want. More so about the way you want to be and function and feel, more than the form. Don't have to sit and say, well, will I lose that weight? Will I, more about the feeling and the function and the beingness. I get to choose. I want to be powerful. I want to be connected in the community. I want to be loved and loving. I want to be passionate and creative. That is the future that I want to connect with. The form of how I'm going to do that is the illusion. It's not that important. But the function and the feeling is, and you get to choose that. So don't get hung up on what am I going to be doing in the future? Who am I going to be? Is the first way to begin to ignite the spark of hope and to begin to align with your empowered destiny. The power of the future is a mystery. It's the unknown. And when you feel powerless, that unknown and that mystery of the future becomes scary and frightening, especially when you also look at other people who never were given the opportunity to understand their relationship to the future, and they therefore also gave up their power. And you see their nightmares and their mediocrity, and they're just, let me just get through this day to get through the next day and take care of my body, and what's going wrong with my body today and next week, and that's my future as a retired old person, is to maintain the body, to keep the heart pumping. Well, that's not a lot of passion and creativity there. It's existence, and it's a product of not choosing who you're going to be and not aligning and deciding my future. Not the form, where am I going to live and who am I going to be with? Am I going to get married? Am I going to get divorced? Whatever. That's the illusion, but who am I going to be? And that's something tonight, is you're going to become more hopeful in this unfolding, especially for those of you who've taken those other two classes. You're going to be in a place where you can create a synergy of wholeness and empowerment, where you not only understand or are aware that you create your reality, you know it, you live it, you breathe it, and your reality is a reflection of the love and the joy and the peace and the passion and the happiness that you've always wanted, waiting for someone to make it work for you. And now you've consciously created it yourself. You're going to have that opportunity to accelerate healing of whatever physical malady, of whatever emotional repression or psychological conflict in consciousness. You can begin to heal, because your relationship to the future is the source of all anxiety and fear. It comes from your relationship with the future, not the past. People will say, no, Mikhail, you don't understand. I was rejected in high school. That's why I'm afraid. No, that's where you learn to be afraid. It's not, you're not being rejected from high school now. It's over with. But the fact that you're going out tomorrow night to a party and meeting new people, I'm feeling anxious. Yeah, it's because of the future, the unknown of, I'm projecting being rejected again in where the future. And that's what creates anxiety. All fear, all anxiety in my relationship to the future, all depression, all hopelessness, all boredom comes from my relationship with the future. And likewise, all healing, all motivation, all change, true, real change. I'm not talking about changing your shirt. I'm talking about changing your consciousness, changing who you are. All real change that's lasting, that's permanent. And all true healing comes from the way I relate to my future. And doctors know this. Doctors call it the will to live. If they have two patients with life-challenging illnesses, they'll bet on the one who has a will to live, to turn that situation around, to live a long, healthy life, to create a miracle where they overcome that cancer or that issue, that life-challenging illness. It's their will to live, they call it, as opposed to the patient who doesn't have a will to live. They're just being polite and nice and getting through the day. Well, what's the will to live for? Your past? The future. I want to see my grandchildren grow up. I want to grow. I want to go to Europe. I have plans for the future. And that changes how I'm being today. It changes my life force. It changes the volume of aliveness from that electromagnetic energy that I'm either connected with or disconnected from. So there's so many benefits to understanding your relationship. And tonight, you're going to work on some very esoteric magic and to shift the course of the future. And you see, even if you tonight, one idea, one concept, one shifting moves you just slightly to a different direction, well, in time, what happens? That where you end up in the future becomes very different than if you had not made that one slight shift. Because as time and space goes on, that divides further and further out. And so tonight you're going to shift and lift, and you're going to alter the course of your future. How much and how deep will depend upon the beliefs you still hold and the relationship with the past. So, what's important is to know, what do you really want? Because your future is about clarifying your desires. And a lot of people say, I don't know what I want. But knowing, what do I really want? And there are 5 things that you really truly desire that are not about the form, but the function of life. Hear that. The forms are up to you to decide, but the function, and on a soul level, on a spiritual level, to fulfill your empowered destiny, hear that. The desires that lead you to that empowered destiny, where I have a future that is my dreams, where I'm happy and healthy and successful and loving and open and connected to the community and doing everything that represents to me my empowered destiny. It is based upon these desires that are spiritual desires. And that is, the first one is that you have a desire. You have a strong yearning and desire to have rewarding friendships and intimate, loving relationships, to be connected with your community. We are beings that need to belong, and I want rewarding relationships and meaningful friendships. I want a sense of, I know I matter to my community. That's something you do deep down desire. Now, you might have shut down, built up a wall, but it doesn't mean the desire isn't there. It's part of your empowered self's desire, not your ego's desire that says, oh no, I'm afraid of people, can't trust anyone. That's leads to a disempowered future. I'm talking about the qualities and characteristics, the desires of being in alignment with your empowered self and that destination. Because I want rewarding and meaningful, loving relationships and friendships and a connection with community. You also want productive work that stretches you, that challenges you. You want productive work, not just any work. You know, when you're at a job and you've mastered it, it becomes boring and lifeless. When you stop challenging yourself at work and you're just going through the motions without emotion, day in, day out, week after week, year after year, it depletes you. So productive work is any work that challenges you to become more, that stretches you, not constantly, but throughout the process of your work. It's not like I constantly challenge myself. You don't want that stress, but you want to be able to move and to expand, because that's where the joy is in your growth. And you want a way to work. And those people say, no, Mikhail, you don't understand. I'm trying to part of longevity, of living a long, healthy life, is a work you don't want it to end. You enjoy it so much. Now, that doesn't mean that work has to be a vocation. After you retire, you can do volunteer work, you can do connection with community, work in your garden, you can work with your children, you can do all kinds of type of work that challenges you. Doesn't have to be the traditional work in an office building downtown. No, but work is so important. The form of it, again, is the illusion, the function. I need to function and I need to matter. I need to have impact in life. And it's through my work that I can share my, which is the next uh, characteristic and quality of what you really want, is to be able to express your talent, your strength, your power, your creativity into the world. I have this desire, this yearning to be able to express the strength within me, the beauty within me, the creativity, the talent that I have, whether it's at organizing closets or whether it's whatever. It doesn't have to be a spiritual gift. It can be any type of gift. That's a desire you have, is to make the world a better place by sharing what you uniquely hold as a talent and strength. That's another purpose of aligning with that empowered future self. And you also want, in this lifetime, is you want an abundance of energy, of vitality, of well-being, of energy to get about your day, where I'm not listless and tired all the time. I want an abundance of health and vitality and well-being. That's a desire you have. And that's part of that connection to the empowered destiny of your soul. And see, for me to say this is how much energy you should have, it depends on your lifestyle, it depends on your age, it depends on a lot of things. If you're an NBA player, you need a lot more energy than if you're, a student. It all depends. So it's not for me to say how much energy, but you want an abundance, overflowing, so that you can get from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. You can have the vitality, the energy to make it all the way through the day without drinking 400 Red Bulls to get there. Natural energy, that's what you want. Meaningful, productive work, loving, intimate relationships and community. You want a way to demonstrate your creativity, your power, your strengths into the world. You want abundance of energy and health and well-being. And the last thing you want is a living, breathing relationship with God. God is all that is. That is your soul's yearning. And so many people, through their spirituality out, through the spiritual baby out with the religious holy water, because they think of the two as the same. No, religion and spirituality are not the same. And because religion failed or disappointed you, don't throw out the fact that you are a spiritual being. Religion is a group of men's attempt to manipulate and control your spirituality. That's a quote from Shirley MacLaine. A group of men, not women, a group of men trying to manipulate and control your spiritual. Oh, in order for you to be forgiven, you have to go down to the church and you have to ask for forgiveness from this priest and tithe. You can't do it on your own. God won't forgive you on your own. You need us as the middleman to manipulate and control your spirituality. We'll tell you when your sins are forgiven. That's not your spirituality. Your spirituality is a living, breathing relationship with God, Goddess, all that is. Hear that last part. All that is. Because God, Goddess created all that is, created this earth, created the minerals and the plants and the animals, created other human beings, your neighbors, your friends, your loved ones, your strangers, the people you hate, are all an expression of God, Goddess, all that is. And it is my relationship to life is my spirituality. And that relationship's either one of dominion, of celebration, of believing the world's there to love and support you, that God, Goddess, all that is there to love and support me, or to believe that the world is there to get me. The world's an unfriendly place. No, 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 Mikhail, the spiritual world isn't part of this material world. No, no, no. I'll one day get to that spiritual world. But meanwhile, I've got to suffer and sacrifice and rise above all the pain in the physical world. No, you came here to heal the pain in the physical world. You came here to be a light and a lantern for God, Goddess, all that is. You came here to bring your presence and energy, your power. But you can't do that unless you are owning who you are and your power. Then you can be part of healing the planet, and you start to open up to attract a world of dominion, a world that is a friendly place, that wherever you go, you're at the right place at the right time, and things fall into place and magic happens. Magic happens. So today, I want to demonstrate to you the power of your relationship to the future. So bear with me. I taught this same class, did a little different topic, meaning still about hope and the power of the future, but a little different title, I should say, not topic, title, because there was more I wanted to add to this mini course that I'm putting together that will be available about this. And likewise, I finished the mini course on changing your limiting beliefs, rewriting your destiny. That's available. And that is part one. And then the one on the inner child is going to be available this weekend. But this one will be next week. But my point being is I've done 2 classes on here to gather the video information to make it into a robust course. So I didn't get a chance to share this in the previous one I did a couple days ago. But let's talk about it now. And I just want to demonstrate to you your relationship with the future. So just for a moment, I want you to close your eyes. Close your eyes, take a deep breath in. And I want you to imagine that you're out in a forest at night. It's dark. It's a new moon night, or it's cloudy and it's rainy and slippery. and you're on a path in a forest and it's dark and you can't quite see very far in front of you because it's so dark. There's no moon tonight and the clouds are covering the stars, and you don't know where you're at. You've never been on this path, and you are walking very tentatively, very cautiously walking on this path, making sure you don't trip over a stone or a felled tree, and you're walking on this path. Notice how fast you walk or how slow you walk. How does it feel that you can't see what's up ahead at night, and that the path bends to the right and bends to the left? And you're not sure exactly where you're going. You're just wanting to go somewhere different than you are. And as you move forward, and what if I told you you had to be on this path for an hour tonight? How does that feel in your body? How does your body react to being on this path in the dark at night, not sure where you're going and how to get there, not sure what's around the next bend, stepping over, tripping over felled trees because it's so dark you can't see clearly where you're going? How would you feel if you had to stay on this path for an hour this evening? Just notice, how would you feel? Now, what if I told you you had to be on this path for 6 hours before the light of a new dawn emerged? And you couldn't sit still, you had to keep moving forward. How would you feel? How would it change if you were with somebody? How attentive would you be to their needs versus just trying to navigate and get through to the next step, to get around the bend, to keep moving forward? How would you be able to focus and be attentive and aware of that person? Not very focused, would you? How would you feel? Anxious or relaxed? Open or closed and defensive? Unknown of what's around that corner on this path? And what if I told you you had to be on this path for 6 years or forever? Well, when you don't have a clear vision of where you're going in the future, when you don't have it, you haven't chosen who you're going to be on that path, you are like in the dark, unknown, not certain what's going to happen next because you're powerless and you're afraid and it's depleting. And your life force energy is wrapped up in anxiety and fear of the unknown. I'm not sure what's around the next bend. And I move slowly and cautiously. And that is what most people live their lives when they do not relate to the future. So just open your eyes now. Take a deep breath in. Now, let's turn it around. Shake it off a little bit. Shake off that feeling, that heaviness, that doubt, that worry, that anxiety. And think about how people live their entire lives lost on a dark path when it comes to their relationship to the future because they've never clearly defined it. Now I want you to close your eyes again. We're going to shift it. Close your eyes again, and now you're on that same path, but it's daytime. And the sun is glorious, and the light of the sun and the blue sky, and you can see the birds and the trees, and you can see the forest. You can see that felled log. You can see the corner, and around the bend, there's a beautiful valley. And up ahead, you are moving towards this amazing valley, a beautiful fiesta and siesta, in a beautiful vista above and up in front of you, and you moving towards it. And now you can see everything clearly. You start moving at a rapid pace. You start stepping forward confidently, moving forward. How do you feel in the present moment, knowing that there's this beautiful destination, a vacation destination you're going toward? And how do you feel in the present moment? Does that anxiety move into enthusiasm? Does that hopelessness move into expectation and desire? Do you open and feel the energy of that future, that destination? You're not there yet, but you can feel and anticipate, and let that energy change how you feel in this present moment. And if you're with somebody on that path, how much can you talk about the joy of that future? And when we get there, what we're going to do, and the journey of getting there is being as fun and beautiful as you take in the beauty of the plants and the animals all around you. And you feel What if I told you you had to be on this path for an hour? You'd be like, yeah, I can do that because it's so much fun to explore the beauty all around me. And what if I said you had to be on this path for 6 hours with knowing that you're going to end up in this beautiful place? You'd be motivated to move forward, to get there, but also enjoying the present moment. You wouldn't be bored. And now just open your eyes. That exercise changed in your imagination, which does not know the difference between something you imagine. Your body does not know the difference. That's why when you were imagining this, your body was tightening or heavy or you were slowing down. It is your relationship to the future. And those people who do not consciously create a relationship to the future, they feel like they're on that dark path at night and they're fearful. No wonder the state of the world, because most people have not learned how to relate to the future. And when they do relate to the past, they think the past is causing them to be who they are today. It influences, no doubt, but it doesn't cause. That past you relate to. And when you have no sense of the future, you are then using your past to justify the misery in the present moment. Oh yeah, I figured I went to therapy. I know who I am, Mikhail. I know. You're trying to tell me who I am. I know. I am a codependent, schizophrenic, alcoholic. I have all the labels psychology can tell me of who I am. No, that's not who you are. That's something you might have experienced, but it's not who you are. You are a powerful spiritual being who gave up your power and thus experienced powerlessness. But you're not powerless. You're not a victim. You're a powerful creator. So your relationship with the future, I just wanted to use that demonstration to show you how it changes how you feel in the present moment. And when you have a vacation to look forward to, or graduation, or Christmas, or anything out there in the future, it changes the present moment. But when you don't have anything out there, it also influences the present moment. You become bored, depressed, nothing to look forward to. Now, you don't want to always be dreaming of the future. You want to know it's there and move towards it, but be content and in the present moment and enjoying the journey of getting there, knowing that as you've changed your beliefs about the world and as you open up, that future is going to be magnificent. And that it's the journey of getting there and the opportunity and the magic and the miracles and the synchronicities and the people that come into your life that make the journey towards that future a life worth living. So we've talked about the motivation, the power of the future. We've talked about what you really want and what is in alignment with that empowered destiny. And it all hinges upon 4 criteria, 4 purposes in your life or lessons in your life, 4 of them that you need to choose in order to decide where I'm going to end up in life. Well, how do I know? How can I guarantee I'm going to end up in that empowered future versus that disempowered future? Well, there's 4 life lessons that your soul wants you to learn that will open the door and allow you to be on that path of light versus that path of darkness, to be in alignment with your empowered destiny versus your disempowered destiny, built by the ego versus built from your soul. The first one is, who am I going to be? What lesson? Who am I going to be? And no matter what you got to do in life, you can always choose, who am I going to be? I've been a victim. I've been powerless. I've been weak. I've been feeling sorry for myself. I know all those lessons. I've been afraid to express myself. I've been fearful. I know those lessons. I know who I've been in the past. That's who I've been. And who am I going to be today and moving forward? I choose. And that's the ultimate choice of power. Am I going to be empowered or disempowered? Am I going to be loving or am I going to shrink and be afraid of love? Am I going to be connected or disconnected? Who am I going to be? In every lifetime, you get to choose that. And that fundamental choice of who am I going to be is a lesson that will either lead you toward the empowered destiny or towards the dark one, the nightmare or the dream. That's the first thing. Who am I going to be? And no matter what happens to you, I get to choose. Am I going to be responsible or am I going to blame? Am I going to be honest or am I going to tell myself lies? Let my ego convince me that I'm powerless and that the world is a horrible place, which is a lie. Am I going to choose to open up to having fun and experiencing the joy of life, the fun and the joy? Am I going to choose that? Or am I going to suffer and struggle with duties and obligations? And that's all that life's about, is getting through the day and, paying the bills and making ends meet, taking care of everyone else. And am I going to learn to have fun? That's a choice. When you choose, yes, I want more fun and freedom and love in my life, that aligns you to that empowered destiny, as opposed to I got to struggle more and suffer more and life's a bitch and then you die. Who am I going to be? First, crucial, important step. Who am I going to be? Am I going to learn to have fun? Am I going to learn to have fun? Or am I going to abandon fun and say, no, 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 life is not about having fun? Being the creator of fun, not looking for it, but creating it. The other, quote, lesson, life lesson, that is a challenge to your spiritual growth, that allows you to be in that alignment with your empowered destiny, is then to consciously create success. Am I going to consciously create success? That is a choice. Because you are, as I mentioned already, from your beliefs, attitudes, thoughts, you are creating your reality. And you're doing it consciously. You may not take responsibility for it, but you are doing it. And as long as you're creating reality, why would I consciously create failure? That's not fun. That doesn't express my power and strength. That expresses my weakness and my inferiority. I'm not here to consciously create failure. I'm here to consciously create success, to succeed, and to know that I am the source of creating success. It's not up to fate or the job or being at the right place or getting that job or knowing the right people. I create my own reality. And I'm going to choose to do so with joy and love and freedom and fun. And I'm going to choose to do so successfully, to succeed. Because why would this be in alignment with your empowered destiny? Mikhail, this goes against every religious teaching. Well, because the teachings of religion weren't there to empower you. They're there to disempower you. Said that you're a sinner, that you're worthless, that you have no value, that you must give it and take care of others and abandon yourself and struggle and suffer and show how much you love by how much you give up and suffer and struggle. That's not. Think about it. Think about it. How much light and love and healing are you bringing into the planet by suffering, struggling, and martyring yourself? You're not. You're part of the problem. You're part of the pain. You're part of keeping the pain alive. It is the person who takes their power back and chooses to be powerful and chooses to have fun and open up their heart and let their light of their soul shine and create success and have fun. They bring light into the world that wants to think of itself as dark. Who's more spiritual? Who's co-creating with the divine? So consciously creating success, learning to have fun, is not an unspiritual lesson. It's a matter of fact. It is what your soul and what God is all that is wants you to do, so that you can create more light on this planet Earth. So your life lessons are, who am I going to be? Powerless or powerful? And I get to choose that. And I need to change beliefs to make that manifest. And I need to take the power back that I lost in that past, from that wounded child that's still hurting, in my consciousness, not physically anymore, but in my consciousness. And as I do so, I heal and empower myself more. And as I open up to align with and connect with my soul, to co-create the empowered destiny, I can find new ways to have fun. And I can consciously create success. And I can be loving. I can love, choose to be loving, to give love, to receive love, and to be loved. That's the fourth lesson. Who am I going to be? Loving, but who am I going to be? Powerful enough, strong enough to be vulnerable and to be loving and giving and caring and connected. 4 lessons. Who am I going to be? Am I going to learn to have fun? Am I going to choose to consciously create success? And am I going to choose to love versus martyr myself? Opens the door, aligning you to that empowered destiny. Now, you don't do that overnight. It doesn't happen immediately. But as you set that as your intention, as you ask your higher self and soul for help, they will help you, because that's you evolving and becoming more. That's you utilizing this lifetime to fulfill your destiny, your empowered destiny, rather than abandoning that and just going through the lessons of pain and struggle and frustration that your ego has been teaching you and that you already know. You know all the lessons pain and fear and hurt and disappointment and failure can teach you. You know it. Now it's time for the scary lessons. Now it's time for those lessons of love, of connection, of community, of celebration, of being all that you are. That scares you more, because you know how to deal with pain and failure. You know, I don't challenge myself with that anymore. I've got that mastered. But being loved by others, being loved by life, being loved by God, God is all that is. What does that even mean, Mikhail? That means I live in a world that's a friendly place, because God has created all that is. So therefore, it's the weather that loves and supports me. It's other people. It's the plant kingdom, the mineral kingdom, the animal kingdom, and other kingdoms beyond. I let that love in, where the world becomes a friendly place, where I'm safe in a world of dominion. I've stepped out of the world of the ego's domination into a world of dominion. Not by being Pollyanna and blind, no, but by being conscious and being empowered. The empowered journey. So, hope. Hope is the anticipation and the expectation of the future. To expect a positive future, to expect things to go right, to expect greater health and healing, to expect and to anticipate that future, to take action towards making it happen. It's not enough to sit around and expect. You need to expect it with anticipation. Expectation is feminine, anticipation is masculine. And when you bring the two together, you create a change. And that is all about my relationship to the future. As an example, well, I'm going to choose to go to the movie tonight. I expect to do it. I expect to go to the movies tonight. Okay, that's wonderful. And I feel the hope of that. Oh, I'm excited about going to the movies tonight. I expect it, but that's not enough to get there, is it? No, I've got to anticipate. Okay, since I've chosen to go to the movies tonight and I expect it to happen, I need to do certain things to make it happen. That's anticipation. I need to look up where the movie's playing, find the theater. I need to buy tickets online. I need to see if a friend wants to go with me and call them up on the phone. That's anticipation. You're not there. You're not watching the movie yet. It hasn't happened. It's in the future. It's out there. But hey, I'm anticipating with hope and expectation. I got to take steps, anticipate. And therefore, I need to do the necessary things so that I end up manifesting being at the movies at 9:00 tonight. And anticipation is then to get the tickets online, to look at the times, to call a friend, to get money together so you can buy popcorn, which you need a lot of money for that these days. And then to get an Uber or Lyft to get down there, all these little tiny little steps. I'm not at the movies yet. It's still out there. It's still the future. I haven't manifested it. I'm not sitting watching the movie, but I'm anticipating and expecting and hoping. The hope is coming from it, motivating me forward to call that Uber, get in that car, to go downtown, to go to the theater, to buy the popcorn, to sit in the seat. Now that hope was manifested into formation. I'm no longer expecting it. I'm there. As long as the projector doesn't break down, I'll watch the movie. Hope comes from your relationship to the future. What do I expect? Well, Mikhail, all I expect as I get older is to be like my parents and start complaining about my arthritis and how I can't do this and I can't do that and I can't do that. That's my expectation of the future. That's what I'm anticipating. So why bother exercising? Why bother eating a good meal? I'm creating a hopeless future of not consciously creating it myself. So therefore, I need a future. So I'm going to adopt those that were created from my parents and put it in my place because I am powerless. I don't have the choice. Besides, I want my mommy and daddy to like me because I have a wounded child. I want their approval and praise. So I don't want to succeed and be happy and joyful and vital and live a long, healthy life. I want to, the greatest form of flattery is imitation. So I'm just going to follow along, being powerless. And yeah, I lived an okay life. Yeah, nothing happened. I just maintained my blood pressure, went to the doctors, looked forward. That was what I had to look forward to, going to the doctors. Yeah, I had lunch afterwards. That was fun. That's my future, mediocrity, leading to a nightmare, existence. Do you see the difference? And here's what most people have a conundrum. You create the future with desire, imagination, and expectation. Desire, imagination. Can I imagine myself being healthy and alive and vibrant? Can I imagine that what? Future. Because when I imagine it, I connect with it and I allow the energy to come into me, to the motivation, the desire, the passion, the creativity to come into me, to align with that. But I have to imagine it. Oh, I can't imagine myself being healthy. Then you won't be. But I have to be able to expand my imagination. Desire, imagination, and expectation. To expect it to happen. Now, if you're here and you're listening to your ego and you've deluded yourself, well, okay, Mikhail, I'm 70 years old and I want to be a brain surgeon. Okay. I desire it. Can I imagine it? Kind of, sort of. If I didn't have these shaky arthritic hands, I could imagine it. Do I really expect it? No. Because it's not in alignment. You're just allowing yourself to be unrealistic. You can't anticipate taking the steps necessary, going to school and getting a degree and healing your arthritis and at 70 years. No, so it's a delusion. So it's not about just any future. It's about a realistic future that makes sense to you. That, yeah, I can thrive and be healthy and alive and vital. Even if my parents didn't, I can. It's my relationship to the future. Remember where the life force energy of the will to live comes from? Maybe they gave up their will to live. That's why they didn't last as long. Whatever. It's not about evaluating other people. It's about choosing. But why people are so terrified of expectation, of expecting the best, expecting good things to happen, expecting is because what if it doesn't happen, Mikhail? I'll be so disappointed. I'll be so hurt if it doesn't happen. If I expect to be married by the time I'm whatever and it doesn't happen, I'll be so therefore I'm just going to lower my expectation. I'm going to abandon it and just say, I don't have anything to do with it. I don't create my reality. I'm just going to hope for the best, expect less, but I'm not using the hope grounded in true hope because I'm afraid to expect. And expectation is what makes up hope. So if I abandon expectation, that's not really hope. It's wishful thinking. It's wishful thinking. Without expectation, hope becomes wishful thinking and it loses its power. But when you have expectation, and you know what? The truth of the matter is, if you get your hopes up high, really high, and it doesn't happen, it doesn't hurt any less. It still hurts, but it's less likely to happen. Hear that? It's less likely to manifest because I did not have my hope and expectation. So when I lower my expectation, the manifestation of that thing I want to create often is limited. So expect the best and know that it's going to hurt if it doesn't happen either way. But then I can look at, okay, it didn't manifest the way I wanted it. It didn't happen. Wonder why. I'm not bad. I'm not wrong. I'm not powerless. No, that must mean I have a belief that's in conflict in my consciousness that did not allow that to manifest. So I need to go back and look at my beliefs. What beliefs are in the way of me manifesting? I believe that, you can't grow, you can't be healthy and vital at an old age. All old people are feeble and weak. That's a belief. Maybe that's a conflict I need to change in my consciousness, in my belief, so that I can open up to a new future and a new experience. Because your beliefs create your reality. And expectation is an important part of creation and manifestation. All right, I've been talking on here for a whole hour, and I haven't interacted with many of you because I wanted to get all this material out on the video. And I wanted to also stay in that flow of what I had to share. But I'm going to give you some techniques. Okay. Go back and see if there's any questions that I can answer real quickly. Here's to listen. Okay, I'll see. That's remind me of your talk when you discussed showing up as a martyr. Great talk. So many gems so far. Thank you, Vanessa. Yeah, martyrdom is, and here this is so important. This is so important. You are a powerful creator and manifester. You are the offspring of God, Goddess, all that is. Those are your true parents. That's your true power. And you are a magician. You can transform reality. And because you have that power and because you have that light, when you know what you want and you're in alignment with your soul, you are a powerful magician. But in the world of duality, you have to have a shadow. And that shadow is called the martyr. The dark side of the magician is the martyr. The martyr are powerful manifestors. They'll create people coming out of the woodwork to take advantage of them. They will create people misunderstanding them. They will create all that struggle. They're powerful manifestors, but they're creating what they don't want, the dark side, because their heart's closed. And it's wrapped in fear and control and manipulation. So they create reasons to control and manipulate and dominate. But they're still powerful. But when you can open your heart and when you can align with your soul and you can connect, you can create what you do want. When you can let go of the guilt that says, I don't deserve, when you can let go of the past and the pain of the past and heal that inner child so that it can no longer be the adaptive child inside of your consciousness and become the free child, the curious child, the wonderment and the innocence and the creativity of that child can turn around. You are either expressing your power or giving it away to others and being a martyr. And no one's making you do it. It's a conscious choice. And the dark side of the magician is the martyr who creates all the things they don't want to happen. And they're powerful because magic and creation is like electricity. It's not positive or negative. It's up to you to decide and choose how you're going to manifest it. Who am I going to be, powerful or powerless? Am I going to align with the magician or am I going to remain the martyr? Am I going to graduate from martyrdom, learning all the lessons? Now, okay, what is the opposite of the magician? You got the martyr that feels misunderstood, unappreciated, taken advantage of, overworked and underpaid. Nobody gets me. Nobody loves me. Feeling sorry for myself. That's the martyr. Well, I can't just stop being that. I need to develop and function from the magician, who is a person who is understood, not misunderstood. A person who is loved and valued and supported rather than misunderstood and unappreciated. A person who's appreciated, a person who's loved. Can I imagine that? Can I see myself being loved by life? Can I see myself receiving love and being understood and valued and respected? That's the opposite of the martyr. Instead of trying to control and stop being unappreciated, I need to be and let myself be appreciated. First of all, by myself. I need to appreciate myself. I need to love and value and support myself, and then let others do it. And that's as I do that, I become magical and empowered. Oh, it's not up to me. It's up to the world. No, it isn't. Your world is a reflection of your consciousness. When you're a martyr, you create and attract out of the woodwork reasons to struggle and feel sorry for yourself. Nothing ever works out for martyrs, but you're still creating it. And when you can let go and open up, remember the truth that I'm creating it all. I've been creating this misery. Oh no, it's not me, it's life, it's my parents, it's my upbringing. If only I were born a female, if only I was born a male, if only I were in a different family, if only I had a trust fund, if only I had all the ego's excuses to stay a martyr. When you can say, no, I'm creating it. I don't understand how I did it all, but I did. I'm taking my power back, and I'm going to consciously create my relationship with the future by imagining who I can be and how I can be loved and be loving, giving love and receiving love and being loved, as I can see myself creating, expressing my power, my strengths, my talents, my gifts, as I can see myself with an abundance of energy and vitality and health and well-being, as I can imagine myself. That's the reality I want to create. Those desires of your empowered destiny I already went over. Productive, meaningful work. Well, what does that look like to me? When you do not choose to be the magician, when you do not choose to learn the lessons of love and joy and freedom and magic and miracles, and when you do not choose that, you have to have a future. You're not going to not exist. You have to have the default, which is a powerful person pretending they're weak, a powerful person pretending that they're powerless, a powerful person who's pretending they're a martyr, and that the life that what my parents taught me and what the world teaches me is true. Life's a bitch and then you die. That can be your future if you want it to. Well, which one's true? Which one's real, Mikhail? Whichever one you choose. It's not up for me to predict it. It's up for you to choose it. And that's why I don't tell people in my private sessions, oh, this is what's going to happen and you should or shouldn't do that. No, that would be taking your power away from you. I'm here to help you see so that you can maybe make a new choice and take your power back, but I'm not here to do it for you. Nobody can. And those people that tell you they can, just follow me and you'll be saved. We don't even need to go there to describe that manipulation. And I know I don't talk to people on here that is going to be the mainstream and the most people, but I have a select few called the tribe of people becoming conscious. It's not the majority of New Agers. It's not the majority of people. The majority is always in the martyrdom. But it's people waking up, the New Age, people waking up and realizing I've learned all those lessons. I want to, and I know there's a future out there beckoning me to become all that I can be. I can feel it at times. And when I am in alignment, magic happens in my life. And I know that future's out there. But I have to align my beliefs, and I have to prepare and anticipate that future by taking care of myself, by changing those beliefs, by opening up, healing those addictions, addictive responses, by regaining my power and opening up to a future that I consciously create. And guess what? Every human being is creating their future. And that's why, in a world that is so hard to understand from looking through the eyes of your ego, well, look at the way of the world. There's no bright future out there. That's why the doom and gloomers that say, oh, the future's going to end. The world's going to end. Time is coming to an end. The future's going to end. There's going to be the catastrophes and we're all going to do. That's seductive because people don't want to be responsible for the future they create. I'd much rather think I have no control over it and therefore give your power away. So what is a technique? And again, these are in the course that this will become, this mini course, there's going to be 4 techniques. And I explained 2 of them the other day, and I just explained one about hope and anticipation and opening up to and understanding expectation. I cannot let my expectation go low. And if it is low, I need to ask for healing of that. I need to bolster my expectation, not the raw motivation of the ego, but genuine expectation of opening up your heart and connecting with your spirit. Hope is the expectation of soul and the anticipation of spirit. And you can ask for that to be healed. Hope is essential in our human condition. So, as you want to embark upon the power of the future to rewrite your destiny, you can think about what do you truly want and look at those that I talked about, from productive work to loving, rewarding relationships. to take inventory of your life. How is my energy and abundance in my of energy and well-being and health? Where is there room for improvement? And in my relationships and in my community and in my way I share my gifts and talents and strengths, do I make time? Do I believe that I'm valuable to be a part of contributing to the healing of this planet? Or do I believe somebody else has to do it, not me? To take inventory, to look at, based upon those things that you truly desire that are in alignment with your empowered destiny. Also, look at, what are my beliefs about rewarding friendships and intimate relationships? Do I have a belief in there from my mother that can't trust anyone, that I haven't uninstalled? And therefore, my attempts to create what I want have ended up where she was? That's not your fault. It's just I got an old software program that's crashing and screwing up what I'm wanting to manifest. And I haven't installed the new belief. And I can change that. So look through that list and what beliefs are in the way of me manifesting that empowered destiny. What beliefs are in the way? Another technique that changes who am I going to be. Talked about that. I don't know. Who am I going to be, Mikhail? Well, your beingness is based upon principles. Principles are boundaries. Principles are rules and regulations that you discern and decide the way you're going to live your life. A principle is to be loving. A principle is to be honest. A principle is to be responsible. A principle is to be creative. A principle is to never consciously hurt others. A principle are guidelines or boundaries that you decide in your consciousness. This is who I'm going to be, a person who's trustworthy versus untrustworthy. I'm going to be, so write down principles, at least 5, if not more. Write down your principles to give it attention. And it's the principles that are the blueprint of that empowered self in the future. That is the foundation of self-esteem that leads to self-love and self-confidence, is to have principles. Because a person who doesn't have principles, they end up with blockages. They end up with struggle and suffering, their fears of intimacy, their fears and their defense mechanisms. All of that is a substitute that keeps them in line. And when you can have principles, you can set yourself free from blockages. Because I'm going to function today being honest and responsible. And I can feel good about myself by the way I operated and functioned day in and day out, by being loving and honest and responsible and integral. And again, principles are something you will not achieve 100%. You're not going to be 100% honest, 100% responsible, 100%, but you're going to become more responsible and honest and loving because of the principle. It's going to stretch you to become more. And character. Having character is the frequency in which you apply your principles. Do I live my principles, or do I just have all these principles I talk about to my friends? Like a lot of ministers and priests and preachers out there had lots of principles, but did they actually live them? Lots of principles, no character. Character is the frequency in which you apply your principles. A person of character knows and experiences being valuable because of the way I'm honest and responsible, integral. And that's who I am. And that never ages. That never gets old. As a matter of fact, it becomes more as you age. Self-chosen, self-created. No one can make you follow your principles, and no one can stop you from it. You can be locked up in prison and still operate with character based on principles of honesty, integrity, responsibility, trust, trustworthiness. You can still function, and you can feel good about yourself because of the way you live your life. Self-generated value is what emerges out of principles and character. And no matter what happens today, I'm going to evaluate the way I live my life, and I can feel good about myself. Even though it was a crappy day, I can feel good about myself. So developing principles and character are what align you to your empowered future self. That empowered future self is living the empowered destiny you want to end up. Can I imagine myself whole, at peace, strong, powerful, loving, giving, connected? Can I imagine myself in loving relationships and intimate relationships? Can I imagine myself with productive work? Can I imagine myself with an abundance of energy and health and well-being? Can I imagine it? It all begins there. Motivation, fear and anxiety and stress. No wonder the world is the way it is, because people haven't consciously stretched to consciously embrace a future. Not so much again of the form, where am I going to live and who am I going to be with and how long will I live? It's not about the form, it's about the function, the feeling. Who am I going to be? Empowered or disempowered, loving or afraid of love? Who am I going to be? And I'm going to set that as an anchor that opens up a vision of my future that is like being on that path during the day where I can have a joyful journey going towards that future, because it's going to change the present moment. Just like when I don't know where I'm going, you can't hit a target you cannot see. So if I'm in this dark night path where I don't know where I'm going and why I'm going there and where I'm going to end up, that's where anxiety comes from. That's where fear comes from. That's where hopelessness and depression. And ultimately, the martyr's destination. Creating it, you're still creating it by allowing yourself to keep and hold on to old beliefs, by allowing yourself to ignore your inner child, by not taking time to dream and vision of the future. You're still creating it. So, this trinity of 3 classes will rewrite your destiny and change the course of not only your future, but the present moment. You can let go of addictions that no longer serve you. You can accelerate healing of whatever condition. You can open up to new possibilities and to channel a creative life force energy called your spirit. You can feel the fulfillment and the aliveness of the electromagnetic life force of your soul and spirit, alive and vibrant, grounded in the space you occupy. And you can give love, receive love, be loved. You can succeed and have fun in the living of your life. That's the spiritual journey, not to suffer and sacrifice, because it's the person who is empowered and loving and bringing their light into the world that is making a difference in the world. The ones who are just getting along and following what their parents did is part of the problem. Nothing changes in your life until you do. Nothing really changes in your reality until you change your consciousness. And that begins with a choice to be powerful. And so I'm going to leave you with that for now. In the previous class, which will be part of the course, I talked about the anti-future vision and creating that and taking your power back. And I talked about a ritual, a technique of weeding and taking the negativity out of the future to give it the energy to the empowered future. That's all part of this course, but I'm not going to have time since I've talked about other things here that wasn't a part of that other previous one. So they didn't benefit from getting that. But as I bring these 2 courses together into a mini course that'll be available, you'll have all the material if you're interested. But you have enough today. You have enough to move forward. And as you explore changing your beliefs, and as you heal the pain of the past and open up to the possibilities of a new future, you change in the present moment. I hope you've got some value from this. This is the real magic in metaphysics that I'm talking about. This isn't just, say, an affirmation. You know, one of the number 1 reasons why affirmations don't work. Now they are effective. I'm not saying they're wrong, but they're very slow at changing reality, because what you're doing is you're trying to affirm a new belief, but the old belief is still operating. So it's like putting whipped cream on an onion. However, if you uninstall the old belief and you then start implanting the new belief, take out love hurts and put in love heals, and then you start to affirm love heals, that new operating system is going to create that reality so much faster than if you're trying to say an affirmation, love heals, and you still have the old belief, love hurts inside. You have to uninstall it. It's just like your computer system. Your subconscious mind can't, it crosses and it doesn't make sense. It cancels each other out. You've got to uninstall the old belief. And I teach you how to do that in that mini course. If you're interested in that mini course, it's $7 for an hour of step-by-step instruction. $7, the price of a coffee. And you'll have lifetime access to it, and it's a money-back guarantee. So if you do it and you don't like it, it doesn't work, get your money back. But if you're interested in that, you can find that course information, and you can also test the power a little bit, those of you new on here or that have been on here for a while. I did that live in the class on changing your beliefs, and you'll see just how quickly your beliefs change your physical reality. And then you go to the mini course, you can get that and start working with it, because these are three different a trilogy of three different courses. Changing your beliefs changes your present moment and your relationship to the past. And you go back and heal that inner child. And you gain and regain your innocence, your creativity. You heal the pain of the past. And now you're more powerful and your beliefs are in alignment. And now you reach to the future, because that's also influencing. And when you have all three of these in alignment, your life will change magically. It takes time. It takes effort. You have to learn. It's not going to happen overnight. But it's a choice you can make. Okay, Mikhail, I want to be powerful. How do I do it? These are the maps. This is how you take your power back. And you can either choose to do that or not. You can still learn lessons from being powerless. But I think you've learned all those lessons. It's time now to take your power back and to change those beliefs and to open up. And I will do everything in my power to make that available, to make it as easy as possible for you. This took me years to figure out and struggle and fail and do things. And, it took me a long time to get all this pulled together. And now I want to make it available for others who want to accelerate it, because the world needs people awake and bringing their light into the world. That's the real reason I'm doing this. The world, God, Goddess, all that is reawakening in the consciousness. And those of you who know that and feel that and want to participate in the empowered destiny of co-creating a world that is new, this can help you to cut out 25 years of work and change your reality very quickly. So thank you. Thank you for the donation on here. I saw anybody would like to donate? Noni, Angie, Mikhail, hi there, Andrea, Michelle, Leonard, Seven. I can't say your name. Almez. Oh, thank you for the donation, Almez. Seven, Angie, Dwayne, Jeremy, all of you. All right, cool. Thank you so much. I hope you got some value from today. I know I did. I enjoyed teaching, and it wasn't exactly how I was figuring on teaching this class. There are a lot of new materials coming in, so this is really good. It's really good new material. But I also, as I mentioned, bringing these two classes into one course will be available probably next weekend, not this weekend, coming up at the following weekend. But meanwhile, you can catch up. You can do the changing your beliefs and that rewriting your destiny. You can get that mini course today. And then the one on healing your inner child will be available on Sunday. And then you'll be caught up. So you don't have to do them all in the exact order. It doesn't have to start with beliefs, but it does help to do that. So you can start with inner child, and then you can do the beliefs, and then, but I find that the working with your current beliefs are real important. Noni, I appreciate your flow. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I am a channel. My higher self teaches these classes. Thank you, Vanessa. And yeah, and how to connect and support Soul-utions on Insight Timer. There's a couple ways. You can send up hearts, you can donate, and you can also follow me on Insight Timer so that you'll know when I do other classes. And then if you'd like to sign up for my newsletter, I send out Wisdom Wednesdays every Wednesday, and then Soul-utions Sundays twice a week. And it keeps you on what's going on. I did a new moon meditation last night. I announced it in the newsletter so people would be able to plan for that. So if you want to stay in touch and you're new to me here, go to my website, Soul-utions.com, and you should get a pop-up to join my newsletter, and then you'll be on the newsletter list. And whenever I do a class, I do inspirational quotes and just all kinds of fun things on there. So please stay in touch and support Soul-utions, because the world is ready. The world is ready, and you can begin to co-create and celebrate and empower destiny. And deep down in your soul, you yearn for this, you feel it. And now you have a map to follow to get there. God bless you. Take care. Until the next time, I don't think I have another class set up on Insight Timer yet, but I'm also streaming live on YouTube and on my Facebook group. So I'm going to be doing more streaming on my Facebook group, so that those people on there who aren't on Insight Timer will be able to access the material. So if you'd like to stay in touch, find ways of doing that. Thank you for your time, your love, your attention. And until the next class, I hope that your path and your experiences in life continue to reveal the beautiful truth of who you are. And who you are is a powerful and majestic spiritual being. Thank you. Take care now.